So, Fantastic Four.
Should we even talk about the film?
Should we talk about the Fantastic Four?
Is it even that fantastic?
All right. This is a weird subject.
Were there 4?
Were there 4? Technically, there was like 5.
The rating was less than 4.
The rating.
And it wasn't that fantastic.
Oh my god, Rotten Tomatoes just kills a movie.
Bro, like it got me immediately when I saw that. Like I wasn't believing how bad the movie was. Like I know you guys saw it before I did. You guys saw it on the when they showed it for you guys with employees, and I wasn't there. And everybody was telling me, oh, it's really bad, it's really bad, it's really bad, and I wasn't believing. I didn't want to believe it until I went on Rotten Tomatoes and saw the percentage of it. And then on top of that, somebody tagged me on Facebook. It's like, check this out. And I saw that Batman and Robin had a better score than Fantastic Four. I was like, are you serious?
Would rather watch nipple suits than this movie.
All day, man.
I'll just set
Hershey
my
Kisses.
opinion on it right on the table.
Go ahead.
This movie could have been good if it had 45 more minutes. Because that could have been a whole third act. The movie didn't have a third act.
Mm-hmm.
It just ended. The Thing punched Doom, and he went into that beam, which movies have to stop using beams, because that has been done since, the Deathly Hallows. But I was like, where's the third act? That was the middle action scene. Like, everybody and their grandmother knew how the movies went, and they knew that there needed to be another, 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But the extra, 15 or so could have been planted throughout the movie to make some of those segments longer. Because I thought it was dope. I'm like, oh, Reed went out, and he's in, Mexico.
Yeah.
He went rogue. He changed his face.
Which I thought it was really cool.
I've never seen that in the old movie.
Not at all.
I've only seen him use super cool moves to dance with women in a bar. Which, I don't know why you do that when you got Jessica Alba back home, But he changed his face. He grew as much facial hair as I guess Miles Teller can really grow. I can't grow facial hair, so, all the power to him.
It was so patchy, though.
But if it had a few more minutes in each piece, it would have been a well-balanced film. But when you looked at the trailer was a different movie. They had at least, 3 different scenes in the trailer that never made it into the movie. So when I did a little digging, it talked about the fact that, the director did this, but the studio did this. It was, it was blame this, blame that. You'll never really know the logistics of it. But there was a whole scene where, the Thing drops out of the helicopter. That was thrown away. Apparently they wouldn't give him money. He had a much smaller budget than he thought he would. Which, I don't know why. If they're trying to compete with bigger movies, why wouldn't they throw more in it? But you could just tell by looking at it that this film was cut by a kid who had those scissors that had the crimp in it. They weren't real scissors. They were safety scissors. And it was just that's why I'm people's word of mouth will kill this movie, but it could have been really a good contender if it had been longer, and they didn't do that with it.
I think the only thing that I can say of the movie is it was an okay movie, and I think it would have been a lot better of an origin movie, which that's what I really was expecting. Because in the old movies, they didn't explain very well why they were the ones chosen.
But they should have learned from Spider-Man to not do an origin movie
Yes.
again. If they started off with the Fantastic Four already a team, it would have been legit.
I don't know. To be honest, it's just I think that they should have done a little bit more, and they should have caught out those 8, 9 years, because they went far.
They
went from
3 years, right?
They were
in the future,
yeah. It was they were little kids in the garage. All of a sudden, the next day, he's in all his way to the Baxter Company, and then a year later, Reed Richards is already gone. Too much.
Well, you know what I read online? It was a very good article. They were talking about the fact that, they're trying to treat the Fantastic Four as superheroes, and that's why they keep failing. Because the Fantastic Four, they're like scientists and explorers. So they said if you made a really dope episode, an adultish episode of Magic School Bus, and that was what the film was about, it would be legit. Pioneering, Interstellar kind of style, but with them. Then it would work better than them fighting off a villain and keeping it in that old kind of stereotype of a superhero movie. It would have been better.
He looked so bad.
Dude,
oh my god, Doom looked so bad.
I don't know what they were opportunity.
I was looking at it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance. I kind of like the texture. I kind of like the concept.
I was
They're
trying to figure out
going
where
for
he got his hood from.
Yeah, for real. Like, there's no planet
He had
whatsoever.
like a burlap sack, like he was picking cotton out there. At first, you remember when they planted the American flag? I thought that the American flag just washed out from radiation, and he used that as his thing, but I think it was too big. Like, his sack thing was too big. Unless, like, you know, Adam Sandler's out there with Pac-Man from Pixels, and you know, they had a sack race with potato sacks. Like, that's where he got it from. But I had no idea where it came from.
You're so right.
That's my biggest problem.
Because the whole thing was that the suit, the body actually consumed the suit. That's why he looked so weird.
It grafted onto his body.
Yeah, which it makes sense. It makes
because
a lot of
then
sense.
The rocks grafted onto Ben.
And then the fire
they
was
shot
through.
through.
Everything was. It had a great concept. You had a good concept. It's just they didn't attack it.
How the hell did Johnny Storm fly through the portal like it was Stargate SG-1, but he didn't need, like, they didn't need the transport anymore. Yeah. He was just like, I'm on fire, I can do whatever the F I want. And he, like, twisty colon through
It's kind of like they had no rules. Like,
It was the end of the film, I was like, yeah, fuck it.
We're just going to do this, guys.
Forget it.
Yeah.
But I feel bad, though, because I felt like Josh Trank, that director, had a lot of promise with it, and it just makes him look bad that this film became, like, a big debacle. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of that comes down to like, the people that were producing it for him. Like, they just weren't giving him enough.
At the end, it was just a big jumble, and it didn't. Like, it should have been delayed. As much as they didn't want it to be, it should have not come out when it did. Because it was in August anyways, which is getting better as a season for films, because August used to be the place where movies went to die. Because they couldn't really compete with the July and the May and now the April openings, because Captain America did good business opening like Winter Soldier in April. But now, August is no longer reserved for whatever copy of Expendables they're on now, 4 or 5. It's become a good contender for films to, entry into September and then November with Bond and stuff usually comes out. But I still
they don't have anything to compete with,
Yeah, which is why they put it there as a safety net. But if they delayed it a little bit more and got their stuff together and threw just more money at it just to get their stuff together, they might have saved themselves.
Yeah, I think they would have done the same thing that they would have done for Superman. Like, when did they announce the movie? Like in 2014?
It was at least 2014. And they delayed it. Because they knew it wasn't ready and it was going to become a bigger product.
I think they would have done if they would have done that with the movie. I think it would have been a lot better.
I'll wait longer.
Like if they would have put it just let's just go ahead and put Fantastic Four with the collection in 2016. That's it. If they would have done that, I think 2016 would have been amazing, and the movie would have been amazing.
They try to rush it a lot because they know they have those bigger franchises like X-Men and all that.
I mean, I'll be patient though. Like Sherlock episodes, I'll wait 45 years for a new episode of that. If the episode is going to be fantastic, oh, that's funny.
I don't want it to be rushed and be a piece of crap.
I understand.
It's not worth waiting.
We live in that instant gratification society that it's like they want the film out now because they know how hot Marvel is, so they want to compete or at least.
But there was no reason. There was no reason for them to go ahead and compete with them because Fox isn't going to let Fantastic Four go. They couldn't take their time. They're not going to go ahead and let X-Men go. So there's no point of either an X-Men movie or a Fantastic Four movie compete against Marvel because they're not going to connect. They're not going to connect into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're not going to compete against them because Avengers will always be the best Marvel movie, as in right now. I
disagree. I say Winter Soldier is the best.
You think so?
I say
that's another podcast.
See,
so the whole situation.
No, let me get my piece. The 3 best movies are Winter Soldier, Guardians, and Avengers. I just don't know where I'd place them, but because Captain America is my favorite, I think Winter Soldier goes first.
Such a Boy Scout.
Winter Soldier definitely plays a lot.
No, definitely. I'm not saying that Winter Soldier.
Because the Captain America movies now have become Avengers movies. Because there'll be multiple people in them, and they're, I don't know. I got a favorite.
All right.
I got 2 shields.
Alright, final thoughts on Fantastic Four. Just go for it. Just throw it out there.
It needed more time, it needed more money, and they should have delayed it.
I think they made a lot, too, with it. It was way too dark.
Yeah,
I mean, all the movies are going a little bit darker now, which I wasn't going to be surprised for.
The science twist was good. but they needed the right kind of story, and they didn't have the right kind of story. All they had was an exposition story, and because there was no payoff for that exposition, because it was too short, it fell flat, and it suffered the same fate as the Spider-Man films did.
Yeah, I think that it would have been by far a better movie if they would have waited and put in the collection in 2016 and just let because that was another issue that we didn't touch, but I'm just gonna go ahead and touch bases real quick. The director didn't have the freedom that he wanted in the movie.
Tell you what, they came out March 2016, probably would have been bomb.
Yeah,
would have been good.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have
even though they were gonna be overshadowed by Batman vs Superman, it would have been such a bad movie. It's
So
supposedly.
before we end this, let's say our favorite piece about the film, just so we don't leave it with such a negative taste.
I wanted to see no lie, no homo. I wanted to see some action, so I wanted to see the thing. If you get what I'm saying.
You wanted to see his thing.
I wanted to see his thing
him, like,
because
knock out
he didn't have any
somebody
pants.
with the thing.
Because he didn't have any pants, I was like, "Yo, show me some action. Show me why you have no pants." That's what I wanted.
I'd say my favorite part of
It
it
was definitely rock hard.
was
You're right. And his booty was tight.
gluteus max.
Yeah.
I'd say my favorite part was probably Michael B. Jordan because I'm looking forward to watching him in Creed and seeing where his career goes from here.
Definitely. Yeah, the movie, it was okay.
I think the thing was awesome though. Like
He
it was
needed-
way better than like
He had too much soul. Like he
the
was.
other thing looked like
Like he was real, but
Like-
nobody else was real.
Yeah, exactly.
Like The Rock was real, and everyone else was just
The
like,
thing was
like, oh
really
my
real.
god, they gotta save stuff, and he was like, son of a bitch, Reed, look what you did to me. I'm gonna use my fist to destroy everything. I mean, he had a lot of lines in the trailer that weren't in the film either that I felt, but I think he was more, one of the better parts from
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
But all right,
It covered it up.
Fantastic Four was Fantastic Four. I said it.
Yeah,
There
I
it
think
is.
you had to say it.
I had to say it.
Fantastic Four. It was an okay movie overall. Let us know what you think.
probably won't see it again.
Probably won't see it again. I might steal the DVD off of someone's Blu-ray combo.
Damn.
pack.
All right, I'll grab a copy from yours.
Thank you.
Maisie, holla.